Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, friends of nonprofit things everywhere. Hi, how are you? My name is Patrick Kirby. I'm the founder of Do Good Better Consulting. I'm excited to have you here, whether you're watching live or you're watching in replay. You got 30 minutes? I'm gonna tell you how to raise more money on your website. Actually, I'm not gonna do it. I bring in experts who know what the heck they're talking about, and that's exactly what you're gonna get today. I'm really excited about it. It's just something that when you come across a number of websites and you're kind of scrolling through potential partners or potential donor or places that you want to give, you kind of sometimes look at websites and you're like, whoa, what on earth is this? How on earth do you even give? Like all these questions that we should probably know about, except nobody tells us this, right? We are working at a nonprofit. We are, doing things because we want to make our community better. We are not online donor experts. We're just do-gooders trying to do good stuff. And so that's why we do some of these series. We bring on experts who know what the heck they're talking about. And that's what we did today. So I would love to welcome to the stage, give a gigantic digital welcome to my friend Cameron. He's going to walk us through on how on earth we do this together. I'm very excited to join us. Cameron, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you. I'm super excited, having a great day. I'm excited because tomorrow I'm gonna go on a small vacation, so excited to go to the beach.
I like that this is the last thing you get to do before you go on vacation. That makes me
It
super happy. That means all your brain power is going to be used for this, which makes me super stoked. Before we get started, let's introduce you. What do you do? Why are you here? What on earth are we going to talk about today? Why don't you set the table for us?
Absolutely. So my name's Cameron Conley. I'm the founder of Reborn Consultants. I've worked with over 500 organizations, nonprofits, small business, and everything in between to build websites and help with their marketing, to drive donations every single day and help them, make the changes they need to unlock what they need to support a website and support their donors in a great way. And so, yeah, I'm based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born and raised here, and yeah, just excited to talk about the three different things we need to start doing to increase donations and give you guys some examples and start talking about what you need to do with your website.
See that? Three things. We can all do three things. I know we do 10,000 different things every day. I know we've got wearing 10,000 different hats. Looking at your website and looking at your online donations thing is probably not even in your top 200 things of I'm concerned about, except for the fact that this is an opportunity for you to engage with potential donors a lot more effectively. And I'm excited we're going to talk about it. It's super niche. It's super tangible. It's super doable. And we're going to talk about three simple things. Give us 30 minutes together, and then we're going to answer any question that you might have. So at the end, feel free to ask any question you have about either online presence, digital pieces, fundraising in general, whatever you got. We're going to make sure that you leave with an answer that you have. If you are watching this in the replay, in the comments, grab a question too. We'll answer those as they come once we post this up as well. I can't get ready. I can't. I'm so excited I can't even talk. That's how excited I am. All right. So, Cameron, let's walk through maybe just the why before we get into the details. Why is it important to navigate what your website looks like, what your online presence looks like when it comes to donors? Don't donors just write you checks nowadays?
I wish, right? Um,
Easy.
the simplest way of the why is to help somebody get to your website and do an action. I think people are making it too complex and complicated, and we need to clearly define who we are and what we do right when we get to the website, and we need to clearly have a place to donate. I think we overcomplicate things by trying to explain too much and write paragraphs and paragraphs explaining what we are. And we need to be a little bit more concise and very simple on what we do because everyone thinks, oh, they know my organization. We do this and it has this word in it. And so it must mean they know exactly what they do.
Right.
People do not.
No. And again, I think people have the attention span of fruit flies. And if they're on a website and it takes them more than what, 2 clicks to get to
Yeah.
wherever they need to go, they're going to give up. And it's not,
Mhm.
this is just a product of how our society works now. It's not an indictment on anybody's attention span, but it's really just making it as simple as possible, as clean as possible, as slick as possible for them to go, I love what you do. I want to give you money. Please don't get in my way so I can do those things appropriately. So if you have not taken a peek at your website recently, recently, this is a really good way to kind of navigate your brain on just three simple ways that are going to increase your donors who visit your website. I'm excited. All right, Cameron, let's go with number one. Let's go top. Well, let's list the top three. Let's give them a
Okay.
tease. Let people stick around till the 38-minute mark, right? So, what are the three things that we're going to talk about today?
So the three simple things are the website mindset shift. The next thing we're going to talk about is actionable fixes to unlock donations. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is low-cost tools and next steps to help you out.
I love it. All right. I think we're all in this boat together where we are overwhelmed. We have so many things that are on our plate. We're probably doing the jobs of what could be four people, right?
So
Um, we don't think about this as much as we should. Why? Let's talk about mindset. Where do typically you find nonprofit leaders mindset wise before you get a hold of them and just shake them and say, hey, you need to do this? Where do we normally find people's brains about this work?
So people think as a website as a brochure or a just thing to have. Like it's like a, I have a business, so I must have to have a website, right?
Mhm.
And I look at business as being step 1 through 10. One being like you don't know anything about this world and you're just jumping into it. To 10, you're like fully optimized and maximized to everything you need to possibly do. Um, to give you a little bit of backstory before we jump into it, is like I was a nonprofit executive director, so I have the ability to understand not only what's going on in the nonprofit world, but also helping nonprofits. Been on multiple boards, and so that just gives you a little bit of clarity that I'm not just some random person talking about nonprofit things. You know, I was in the thick of things and understand what was happening. So the mindset, again, going back to it, is people think it's not important. People think it's like, I'll fix it later, I'll do it when I can.
Mhm.
And that's like the whole mindset shift that we have to take is not just thinking it's a brochure. We have to build trust, show clear impact, and make donating easy. And I
Mhm.
think those are things that are like they're very simple, but I think they're overwhelming to nonprofit executives and just nonprofits in general.
Right. Is there what's an easy fix for that? I mean, I know
Yeah.
there's, I mean, nothing mental is ever an easy fix, but like, what do we do to even address some of those things in the first place?
So let's talk about building trust.
Yeah.
So I call like on websites, I call them trust signals. So a trust signal can be having a donate button. It could be having your about us, having your team show that you can see
Mhm.
people, showing statistics of the impact that you have. Another thing is showing your 990 at the bottom of your website. Um, Other things are just, your website secure, that when you're donating, things are secure, and the list goes on and on, right? I'm going fast, but I want everyone to know that building these trust signals is what everyone's about. Everyone gets inundated with so much, like you were saying in the beginning, and just things are coming at them. And I think people are very leery of donating and giving because
Mhm.
they want to make sure that their money is most optimized and it's actually going to the right place, right? And so, in my opinion, when you build these trust signals,
Mhm.
you're able to actually have people believe you and trust you even more to want to donate. So that was the first thing I talked about.
And I think just bouncing off of that too, I think transparency now in the nonprofit realm is more important than ever, right? So people are giving to fewer and fewer organizations.
Hmm.
Individual donors are kind of falling off. The ones who are gonna give to your organization want to know that you are an organization that they will not be throwing their good money at a bad place. And those little simple sort of ideas that you're talking about are instantaneously like, okay, street cred established right away. You don't have to like, there's nobody going, why aren't you showing this, this, and this? Like, or what do you, it's not like people are distrustful in general, but when you are talking about giving money to an organization, these are the things that you just want to make sure you have at the ready. So it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I want to say those are for both individual donors
Mm,
and corporate donors, right?
yeah.
These are ways that people can give in general. I mean, I've seen when people don't have trust, it's immediately they don't tell you, but they'll be like, "Oh, well, like, I went to your website because I use this phrase, it's called image and perception is
Mm,
what we give to the community, and
yep.
respect and commitment is what we give to each other." And I hate to say it, but the image and perception immediately is if they don't feel that, like you said, transparency, then they don't want to do anything. And the respect
Mhm.
and commitment is respect and commitment to what you're doing and your cause and making sure you're following your mission statement. So that was the
Mhm.
first of three things when it comes to, your website mindset shift.
Yeah, I love that. What else we have to do to get our brains right with this whole I need to fix my website or I need to look at it at least a little bit more clearly?
Yeah, show clear impact.
Hmm.
Again, it goes into the a little bit into the trust, but it's like, how do we show immediately that we're being impactful, right? Some really awesome things, just simple things that you can do is having a video and it goes over some of the things that you do for your organization. Or it shows an image of something that, is impactful to your cause.
Hmm.
An example would be, so I was an executive director of a nonprofit that was a orchestra, a youth symphony. And having the orchestra playing, you don't need the sound in the background, but like playing and the conductor working with them and just having a really awesome video to show they're like, wow, like they actually do care. They put in this effort. Having an image of what you do if you're giving like creating wells and right and creating water
Yep.
in areas that don't have it. It's being clear of what you're doing and showing the impact immediately when you get to the website.
Hmm.
Um, Another way to show impact is having a specific page dedicated towards everything you do for volunteerism, right? Having a volunteer page is really cool because then people are like, oh, I can actually donate my time. Because sometimes we think that, oh, people are just going to give, give, give. It's like some of the best people that have ever donated when I was executive director were people who volunteered first and then gave because they saw impact. And
Right.
so I feel we look at like a volunteer as just like another person when I feel like we can take the people who are coming to us already and
Mhm.
interested and intrigued to help.
Yeah.
And those are the people that, especially helped for me donating to the youth symphony.
And again, I think if you don't have a number of volunteer opportunities for 400 people to come in and stuff back, that's okay. Do you have an opportunity to help write thank you notes? Do you have an opportunity to make phone calls? An opportunity to just clean around? Whatever there is, you can make up some of those things. That's great. The also I want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable with this. Like you talk about a video or some sort of photography up there. A lot of smaller, medium-sized nonprofits are like, well, I can't afford a videographer to come in there. Phones nowadays, they're shooting movies with these phones. You're okay just shooting a little bit of a video or having someone shoot a video on a phone. It's as high quality as some of these cameras nowadays. And there's an authenticity to, we don't have this full on production of a videographer coming in and recording everything. It is okay to be authentic and record what you do, what your impact is made, and what numbers go with what. Like and what you said, your $1,000 donation is going to do this, or
Yes.
your gifts do this in the community.
Yes.
That impact number, I'm telling you, makes more sense and is needed now more than ever across the board. And it has to be on your website so they can actually see if I give you this dollar amount, it's going to do this. Has to be.
Absolutely.
What's our third thing, Cameron? Give me
So
a third mental mindset thing that we need to fix.
it's exactly what you're talking about, which is making donating easy.
Yes.
Okay. We make it so difficult. You're absolutely right. So I've been to multiple websites where I click donate and then I click donate to finally donate. Like, why am I going to three pages? Like, if I'm clicking donate, like, let me get to where I need to go. Like, let me give the money. Let me see what's going on. And we're going to jump into a little bit more nitty gritty of like exactly what you talked about of like my $40 gives me this. But
Mhm.
I think people make it so difficult. Like, fill out this form or here's 50 different ways you can donate. And I'm like, why is there 50 ways? Like, I think that's awesome. I'm glad that you have
Yep.
different initiatives you have, but like to a donor who comes to your website and they just want to give, make it very simple. Three to four
Mhm.
places that, I'm going to donate in. I'm going to donate to, for instance, I'm going to use my youth symphony again, but it's like, we had an application fee for $25. Give to an application fee. Our total year cost to be in the organization was 400. Donate for a whole entire year. Then we
Yep.
had a tour we went on every single year. We went to New York and we went to Canada and we went to Seattle, all over, right? And so it's like, okay, donate to that. Then I had kids who were struggling with their instruments and needed them fixed. Like we had a program for that, right? So it's like, that's all. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to go into the 50 different things that I do. Again, it's cool. I can be like, okay, donate to the library, donate to this cause, donate to
Mhm.
that. But it's like, okay, now I'm just overwhelming people because they don't need to know every little nitty gritty. And I think when we're trying to make this simple and having a mindset shift, we need to think this user needs to have an easy experience donating. How can I best do that?
Yeah, you nailed it with the overcomplicating of where people can donate. And again, you are not going to find people who show up on your website with $100,000 and are going to put it on a credit card. That's not any of
No.
this, right? Your purpose of having a website that actually makes a lot of sense is to begin the relationship of someone who emotionally got invested enough to give you cash on the spot. And now it's your job next is to foster that relationship, follow up, do all the right pieces of the components there, but it's to capture that right away. You need to have that sense of optimism, that sense of need right away to be fulfilled to say I'm going to do good. Make it simple to give. And I can't tell you how many people like you have to search on
Yes.
ways that you can give. And then you don't even know if you don't even know right away if there's not a donate button in a certain place, you don't even know if they're a nonprofit. You're like, what
Right.
the hell is this? And I think if you have to ask yourself, what the hell is this? That's
People,
probably a diagnosis that we need to help with. And you probably need some tangible action plans to go along with it, which is a great segue because that's what we're going to talk about next. Cameron, what are some of the ways that we can do right now, things that we can do immediately to help our website garner more traffic to get more donors?
absolutely. So let's start with the simplest thing, which is making your donate button obvious, bold,
What?
big. I know, right?
You mean you can't hide it in the background somewhere? That makes it
Right?
easy?
Or in the footer, right?
What?
So there's some things that I like doing with the donate button. Not only making it a little bit bigger, making it a unique color, a
Yep.
hot color. This is like marketing psychology. I like changing instead of just saying donate to something slightly different. Okay, just
Mm,
like it means exactly the same thing, but it has a bigger impact. I'll give an example of something that's simple that people do all the time. They'll say contact us, and I'm like,
mm,
but why am I contacting you? For what? And
right.
people are like, well, so they can get a hold of us. Well, they'll go find that. Like people will, if they want to contact you, they will find a way to do that. But what is this? Or just donate. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a good start. But some things that I
Mm,
like to change it to is like give now, make an impact.
mm.
Some things that are just slightly changed to the traditional donate button and just changing it up a little bit. I feel like those are better CTAs is what we call them, right? Call to actions that actually make somebody want to do it. Um,
Well, what I like about this too is that you get to individualize that to your own vibe of a nonprofit, for
for sure.
example, right? So if you are a child advocacy center, right? You're trying to
Mhm.
protect children or whatever, or save a child here. What the hell? What's that? I want to click on that. Like that's an intriguing piece to do. Like so you can experiment with a lot of those things that feels like your own vibe, or your own mission, and your own being true to yourself and authentic as an organization to experiment. I love that idea. That's a great one. Yeah.
The next thing is making, so I call it sticky, right? It's just a term,
Mm,
like your sticky menu bar. So if you have a menu bar at the top and when you scroll it goes away, you want that to always say your call to action that you want, the give now, right? The make an impact, save a child, help a child. Like having it there always in their face. People are like, "Oh, that's annoying." It's like, listen, making it there is when people are going to notice it. It's annoying when I see 10 different pop-ups when I go to every single page and I'm like, okay, exit out, exit out, exit. I'm like, why am I getting 10 pop-ups, right?
hmm
But it's not annoying to them when they've actually read through your website and it's just always there and easy for the user to find.
Yep. Love that. Yeah. And again, you don't want them to go searching. You don't want them to, once they have it in their brain that they want to donate. And again, this is what we need to hammer into everybody who's kind of watching this, which is like, get it done. Have them be able to do the work that they want to do, which is give you cash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. The next thing is adding urgency and impact. You stated it,
Mm,
but it's like it's the number one thing I try telling people. You can't just be like, okay, donate this money. And I'm like, again, where is it going and what is the impact? So having the impact be there, whether that be a simple donation or whether that be a corporate donation. So let me explain for individuals. So an individual would be donate $50. Like you said, it goes to giving lunch to a child for 10
hmm
days, right? That's impactful. You telling me to give 25, 100, 500, or 1,000 and there's no reason to, I'm not going to donate. Like I'm just like I'm not giving for you to make money. That's how I look at it, right? I'm like you're just
hmm
going to take my money and do nothing with it. Um, Another thing that a lot of people do is like not give something. Like people are want to be like reciprocated. So like a simple thing is if they're giving over a certain amount, give them a hat, have them invited to a meeting, invite them to your gala for half off. What I mean, there's so many different ways you can do it as an individual. Like it's just people appreciate you showing them. And then the last thing to that for an individual is showing the impact. Like taking a
Hmm.
picture of my kids in the youth symphony and being like, you helped this kid to be able to be in
Yeah.
my organization. Oh my gosh, how many more people were like, this is amazing, the impact that it has.
Yeah. And again, hat, sticker. It does not have to be a pricey piece too, right? So if you're part of your thank you policy or your thank you, a procedure is that you send them a thank you note, throw a business card and a sticker in there. Stickers cost zero. I mean, they're so insanely cheap, but they put it on their water bottles. They put it on all their computers. I hoard them. I think they're super cool. And so I've got a bunch that I stole from a conference that I'm going to put on my computer. People take some of those things and it reminds them of what they did and what they gave. And sending them a picture of a photo of a kid or just sort of a vibe that you would send out to make sure that you have impact. And again, if you're a part of a food scarcity group, that you just want them to show this is the meal that we were able to provide our community because of your help, and just drawing a through line that says my dollars do this. People are going to be very picky and choosy when they come to who they're supporting and why, and they want to know that their money is not going to be thrown into a gigantic vat of funds that are eventually just going to be used for something. They want to know, especially low-level gifts that you were going to solicit online. They want to begin to build a relationship with it. And I love that fact that you're just trying to tether something that people can do right away. I love it.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And then on the corporate side, again, it's showing that I'm going to, so again, I'm going to go the route of music just for me. Okay, I'm going to give you free tickets for the whole year. I'm going to let you come into a rehearsal.
Hmm.
I'm going to let you talk to the conductor. I'm going to let you talk to, our best student inside the classroom. We have
Hmm.
a leader that everyone supports and says this is their leader that they follow. Having those discussions and being a part of that and seeing those things, like it's huge. If they're just giving and getting nothing, like people feel like they're being taken advantage of. And like you said, for an individual, it's simple. For corporate, you can get as big as you want and as glorious as you want. Putting on the pamphlets or ads for them and so on and so forth.
And again, the best part about that too is if you don't know what your corporate sponsors want, ask them. They'll tell you. Like this is what typically we want. Great for a customization quote on whatever you want to do. Click here. It's right there. And it encourages people to reach out to you. It encourages conversation, which is exactly what you want. I love that as tangible pieces here, my friend. Are we missing? Do we miss anything? We have
So
all of our.
the last thing is just like again going back to the trust signals.
Yep.
I would use like logos from partners and founders. I
Yeah.
would put up people's names on your website. I would put stats of the impact, and I would put testimonials. I feel
Yep.
like, and again, we think that a testimonial means nothing, but in reality, people read them, people look at them, but we get so inundated with seeing them as nonprofits, like
Right.
we're like, oh, well, somebody just wrote this thing, and or we did a video and somebody did it, and it wasn't that impactful. It's like, listen, anything is impactful and trust is impactful. And that's what we need to consider. It's not like you said, the quality. I do everything on a phone as well. Like I don't have
Right.
fancy photographers, right? And
No.
it works amazing. So
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
You don't need it. I love that. All right. So now we get to some of the tools that we want to use, right? We're all busy individuals who work at nonprofit. Like I don't have the time to come up with or figure this out myself. I need an expert to tell me what on earth I need to do and what on earth I need to know. I bet you have a couple of them. And I think this is where this meets. Like, I love the concept of me trying to figure out how to better grab the attention of people who come here. I want to make it easy as possible. I've got all these tools. I got my things execution wise. I'm never going to be able to do this without some sort of professional help or some sort of progress piece that I can go and download. You got anything for me?
So, yeah, absolutely. So, we're going to talk about a few things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what are we going to use for when somebody actually like gives a donation, right?
Yes.
So, when we like, we're going to call them form builders, right? So,
Hmm.
like a form builder that a lot of people use are Give Butter, Donor Box. Another one is Fundraise. Those are just like three tools that you can use for donations, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then the last one I would be like is like let's create something custom, right?
Right.
Again, depending on where you're at, like I talked in the beginning, it's 1 through 10 understanding your nonprofit knowledge and
Right.
website knowledge, right? What can we do right now to make it simple? There's some donation platforms that are just like it looks beautiful, but it doesn't provide the impact, right? So, but that's okay. You have if you have nothing, let's start somewhere, and
Right.
then we work our way up to being more trustworthy and more clear. So that's
Right.
number one when we're talking about low cost tools and next steps. The next thing I use is called a heat map. So heat mapping is where
Yeah.
it tracks where people are clicking, what people are looking at.
Mm.
There's a thing called Microsoft Clarity. It's for free. Doesn't cost anything. You go on and you put it on your website. You ask your web person, put on this code, or literally
Hmm.
it walks you through it. It's not hard.
Hmm.
It tells you what it is. And you put that on your website so you can see what your donors are doing. Are they reading around and seeing and not actually making the action? Then it's like, what do we do? It's nice to see what pages people are going to, how long they're being on there, like if they've been on there a minute, if they've been on there 10 minutes. It's a really cool tool because it captures like little pictures and like little videos of like what people did. You could also
Interesting.
use free tools like Google Analytics and Google Search Console, right? That Google
Hmm.
provides to see where things are at.
And,
Um,
and just because I think this is a fascinating piece because we're now into the almost mindset of somebody who shows up to your website. What are some of the insights that you're looking for? Are you looking for people who sit on your page? Are you looking for like what's the most interesting or clickable link? Like what do we glean from that? Because I think that's an important thing. Like, hey, we can get this bunch of this information. This makes a lot of sense. But what am I looking for as somebody who's taking a look at some of this analytics? Now, you don't have to go into detail
oh,
because
you're
that's what
good.
professionals like you do. You can call Cameron and you can go ask him a bunch of these questions. But what's like one or two things that I'm looking for that would indicate my website's working well if somebody is hanging out?
Yeah. So the first thing is hanging out, like not bouncing is what we call it,
Right.
right? So not people not just jumping off your website. People going to another page rather than just your home page, right?
Nice.
People actually taking the time to go to a second or third page. That
Mhm.
shows me that somebody actually wants to be there. And you can see that on Google Analytics where you're like, they started here to go here to go here. So you're like, wow,
Nice.
they went somewhere. And then where did they end? Did they actually make a like action? Did they fill out a form? Did they donate? Did they try to
Right.
contact you? Did they hit their call button? Did they email you? So on and so forth. So
Hmm.
those are two things, right? So the next thing I would say that I'm trying to see is are they getting stuck or does something look difficult for them, right? When
Gotcha.
we talk
Yep.
about like easeability or user experience, we're talking about it looks good on desktop and it looks good on mobile, right? Everyone's on
Hmm.
mobile, but people still use desktop and some people use tablet. I think a lot of us live in one area and forget the other. So
Yeah.
like I live on my desktop all the time
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh yeah, mobile needs to be beautiful. And that's,
Yeah.
what 75 to 80% of people are. And then some people are like, I'm on my phone all the time. And then they look down on a desktop and I'm like, it's absolutely atrocious.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I like that as a view, and then it's just really easy fixes because most of the websites that you have too are intuitive. They're probably a lot of drag and drop pieces. If you're a small, medium-sized nonprofit that is, on a WordPress build site or a GoDaddy account, there's a lot of that you can do there that's pretty easy. Again, you're gonna want to take eventually the leap into having somebody like Cameron come in and sort of like build you something that is really a doable piece as you grow. But there's a lot that you can start with, was awesome. Love that. Love that. What other tools can we use?
So I have one more tool and then I have the next step. So another
Great.
tool you can use is chat tools. A lot of people use
Mm,
chat tools, chat bots, right?
yep.
Again, setting them up, there's some really cheap ones and there's some expensive ones. I'm just going to name one or two. Drift for questions for donors. There's Talk, it's TAWK. Those are two just simple tools for people to engage and be there because
Hmm.
uh, your website is a 24-hour tool. It's not a 9 to 5 tool.
Hmm.
And the easier you make it for somebody to get answers, questions answered and making it simple for them, it's good. Again, if you're not ready for to set up something like that, that's totally fine. It's just a nice tool, especially if you have some things already organized and you're like, okay, I want
Hmm.
to take the next step. Again, instead of being on step one, we're going to step three, right? We're putting
Yeah.
up this chatbot. So
Yeah.
those would be the three main tools that are low cost tools that you can utilize to make
Hmm.
it easier to make people donate.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to do an entire series of chat bots where you're like, hey, automatically gives you answers, at least set something up to say, hey, ask your question here, and then your response to it or the automated response is, thanks so much for your question. Within 24 hours, someone will get back to you with that answer.
Exactly.
That interaction alone
Hmm.
Goes back to the first thing you said, which is what you're trying to do is build trust. Build people who want to come to your website, want to engage with you, have questions, need answers, and they want some sort of engagement that's not, hey, I'm passively interested in you checking my stuff out without some sort of quid pro quo, response and back and forth. And I just think those are just such a great, uh, easy, cheap ways to do that. Nice.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go on next steps, which is
Love
for
it.
me huge. This
Okay.
next step is like, I would love for all nonprofits to do this. And on their own, they don't need to. I'm not asking you to use me. I'm asking you to try it for yourself. So I looked up statistics and I thought they were like, it was shocking. I just didn't know it was this tiny of a fraction. So this is wild to me. Only 100,000 out of 10 million global nonprofits that can utilize Google's ad grant is utilizing it. So only 100,000. I thought it was way more. I don't know why. I just thought everyone was utilizing it. So to tell you a little bit about it, you get up to $10,000. Okay. It's been around since 2003 and it has um, around 55 countries that can utilize it. So just not the United States, right? There are other places in the entire world that can use it. And you can leverage this by doing 5 things that you can do to utilize the Google Ad Grant. So I'm going to talk about those, and then I'd be glad for Patrick to give me a little bit more so I can go into it. So you can drive donations with it.
Hmm.
You can recruit volunteers. You can raise awareness. You can grow email lists, and then you can promote events and programs. Um, I always have people who are like, I don't know what I'm gonna use this money for. Like, I would never even set it up. I don't even know how. And it's not hard. You just need to be a 501(c)(3). You need to have a good looking, easy user-friendly website because Google will check that and make sure that whatever you're doing is honest with what you're doing. I mean, it's
Hmm.
it's very simple, but again, I know people get stuck if you're a very, very small nonprofit. Let's start at ground zero, which is like, let's get a website, right? And then let's
Hmm.
grow into that. But any thoughts on that, Patrick? And I'll give a little bit more.
Yep, it's free. It's free money. And I think in this age of where you're trying to figure out how on earth to get the attention of people who are just Googling something in your purview or your mission adjacent questions, to be top of mind on the Google search bar is still important. It doesn't matter how much AI is going to change the landscape of stuff. People who still go on Google to search something that has to do with your mission is absolutely critical, and that's exactly what these Google ad grants do. I'm shocked at the number. I thought I knew everything about Google ad grants. I've never heard that number. That is a shockingly low number, and it's
Yeah,
free, and you get to use it.
it was scary to me because it's active. I mean, there could be
Right.
a million people that signed up for it, but actively utilizing it is around 100,000. It
That's unbelievable.
fluctuates anywhere between like 80 to 120, right?
Unreal. All right, we got any questions? I do have a training on that too. Send me a note and I will send that as well for you. So that's easy. In the comments, just click and I'll just send you a link. I'll put it in the YouTube comments. It's gonna be delightful. All right, love that. Next step. What do we else do we have to do?
So the next steps, again, like what I would do in a very simple way is figure out what your business does in one sentence, right? What do
Oh,
you do?
nice.
If you listen to anyone about nonprofits or business, they talk about speaking to everyone, just like your book, like a fifth grader,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not it wasn't a pun, it's just true. Like we're trying to be so simple in the way we explain what we do, and we try to make it so complex. And it's like, what do you
Yeah.
do, and how can you be quickly impactful?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's
The other thing too, which I really like too, I like what do you do? I also like the phrase, why do you matter? And if you need a leaping off point to this too, and again incorporating the answer to those questions in your website to make sure that you've got a hook, which is if your board decides tomorrow to cancel and just retire your organization and just blow it up, what happens? Is your community better? Is it off for the worse? Like start with your narrative that way. And if the community sucks because you guys don't exist anymore, start there. Like we exist to do this, this, and this. We are doing this kind of work, and we're doing it because the government can or won't pull it off. We're the gap filling organization for this type of work. Like wherever you need to start that storyline, I love that you set that up as a task because that's gonna be the leaping off point to a lot of conversations that help you build why people should donate to you in the first place, conversations on what you say to donors, how you write about your appeals, how you set up your asks on your donation page. Like, if you don't know what you do and why you matter, how on earth are you going to even justify rolling out a website that has people to offer? Because if you don't know those questions, they don't know it, and you
Yeah.
should. So boy, that's a really good one, and it's so simple. It's such a simple way to start, and you can brainstorm around that. Brilliant.
And then this is the last thing because again, not to get crazy, and I'm going to go over all of them again and recap. So the last thing would be building a monthly giving program. I think we just do one-time donations, and I know people do monthly. I'm not
Yep.
saying I see monthly a lot more, but again, people want to be impacted. So again, if they
Mhm.
are doing monthly, communicate with them. I feel like again, the big thing about doing a new program or adding something on or letting somebody donate, it's about communication, right? And we need to collaborate with them and hear them out and listen to things because I think as nonprofits, we're just like, thanks for the money, let's go like use it. Thanks for the money, let's go use it. And we're
Right.
not thinking about how we can communicate and be more impactful.
Oh, absolutely. I no that that is so unbelievably important. I think just what a great way to end, by the way, because that I think makes a lot more sense if we're sort of wrapping it in a nice little bow. You just did it nicely. All right. I want to make sure that we answer any questions that kind of come up in the chat, right? So, as you get ready to prep, if you've got a question, if you have a sort of an idea that you wanted to ask, but you haven't been able to do it right now here in the chat, plop your questions in. If you're watching in replay, plop that in the comments below. We'll get to that eventually. We want to make sure that you leave here with your questions, your burning, unsolvable fundraising or marketing or online donation questions answered. So write them down there. Cameron, give us like a replay on kind of what we learned today, what people can do, the highlight reel, and then we'll get to some questions here.
So highlight reel, like real simple, easy peasy. It's like we need to make our websites easier. And the way we do that is by shifting our mindsets, by making actual fixes on our donations, and then by doing and using low cost tools to take next steps. I think the biggest thing when we take those next steps are not overcomplicating it and making
Mm,
it very simple for you to think about, right? Building that monthly giving plan, utilizing tools, tracking, corporate sponsorship, and then making sure that we're communicating in an effective way what we do. I mean, that's basically all it is. And this is just a very simple, easy way. We don't need to overcomplicate. Again, if you are a nonprofit that's super small and you need easier things, we can help. If you need more medium things or larger things, by all means, I have huge things we can come up with and much
mhm.
bigger ways to go about it and paid tools. But I just wanted this to be an overall education of how do we make donating easier so that fundraising can increase through your marketing efforts.
I love it. That might have been 33 minutes, but we nailed it in a half an hour for sure. I like it. As we wait for questions to come in, I got a couple. What's a mistake that you see maybe nonprofits making when they're going down this adventure? Like, I got to redo this. I'm gonna refresh this. But what's the number one mistake that you see? Because I always think we can learn by others. You know, gong show pieces there. What do we want to avoid? I guess is kind of my question.
Analysis paralysis, looking
Yes.
into things and overthinking things. I think so that I mean you probably heard the word, but like to ruminate. I feel like
Hmm.
as nonprofits and nonprofit owners and executives, we ruminate too much. We think about it and overcomplicate. And that's the biggest issue I have. And what it's specifically like too specific is content. Like how do
Mm,
we create this content? We overcomplicate things. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. As you said, like AI doesn't take over. I don't believe AI is taking over anything, but I do know it is complementary and you can come up with ideas on there. Like that's one of my favorite things. If there's anything I would tell somebody to use AI for, even if you've never used it before, is just let it do a little bit of idea thinking. And that's the bit like if there's just like the number one thing, and this is with any company, it's just
hmm.
overthinking how do I create this content? Because you're like, I got to build this website and I got to come up with all these how do I donate and show impact, and you just get overwhelmed and again analysis paralysis and ruminate over things. So that would be the number one thing.
I love this quote, and it was brought to my attention this morning too, conveniently as you're saying this as well, which is embarrassment is the cost of entry.
Yeah.
And I like this because like I think people try to be perfect. They want their website to be perfect. They want their ask to be perfect. They want the like it's not. You're going to make
No.
mistakes. It's going to be embarrassing. I literally sent out an email today or yesterday, and it was a follow-up to a webinar that I had, or a lot of people on my email list. And I got the link wrong that I was sending out. Like, here's your free download, sent it to it. And it's like 1,300 people got the wrong link. And now I'm like red in the face trying to answer. But here's the silver lining. I got to talk with a bunch of people that I'd never spoken to before. I now know they were clicking on it, they were interested in it. I got to have these micro interactions with people. If we think about we have to get perfect first, back to your whole analysis paralysis thing, we will never act out. And I don't think that you can get bogged down with this perfection piece. You can't. No one is. And if somebody points out that they're like, hey, there's an error on your website, great. Now they are interacting with you for the first time. They would have never done that without it. So take it from Kameron. God, you've probably seen 1.5 million websites and 1.5 million errors that don't really affect the bottom line. You're
No,
not going to lose $1 million by trying something different and trying new.
not at all.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
love that. We got a question. Any ideas on how to kickstart a monthly giving campaign? Any recommendations? Should we have an enter your own amount? Do we have a enter here's what's expected of you thing? What are your best practices that you have seen to at least engage in a monthly giving campaign?
Yeah, so we want to think about what can the amount be impactful? Like I
Yep.
always try doing like unique numbers that aren't like
Mm.
overly over the top crazy. Like
Right.
I don't like doing 10, 50, 100, 200, right? I like being a little bit like 125 or you could do 33, right?
Hmm.
Like making numbers that are just like slightly like I tried making this number unique. When it comes
Yep.
to the amounts, I like having three amounts and other.
Yep.
Again, you can do four amounts and other.
Hmm.
It's kind of the way it fits on your donation page. So again, it's the way it fits easier. So if I'm coming up with something and I've never done this before, and I'm just like, how do I go about this? I would
Hmm.
figure out what's the lowest amount of money that can actually impact using a close to, unique number, like we could say
Hmm.
eight, right? And be like, this $8 gets us this. If that's not enough because you are a nonprofit that supports helping kids get free dental and you
Hmm.
need 55 for the first, for a checkup, cool. That's the number. So it's
Yep.
not necessarily it doesn't need to be a high or low number. It's what that number is impactful and how it displays for the user to be easier. So I like putting, like I said, 3 to 4 max
Hmm.
and having an other because if somebody wants to donate $10,000 a month, I'm not going to stop somebody,
Hmm.
right? I'm gonna be like, perfect, put your other. But I do like putting enough so that I'm like, okay, I see this impact and it's directly going to whatever cause you'd like to correlate to. I
You
hope
know,
that
again, if you're providing a meal for right for somebody
right,
who is right, so what's the cost of a meal? And so
right,
let's just say it's $12. So for $12 a month, you get to provide one healthy hot meal for an individual. And over the course of the year, you are helping 12 individuals, and that impact is this. That's your storyline. And it's
exactly,
super understandable. It's super meaningful. And then you just go up from there, right? So it's 12, it's 24, it's 48, and then it's an other that you put there because people want to navigate that as well. I love that as an entry point. And again, making it super easy. All right, we got another question. They got a nonprofit in rural Eastern Kentucky. We have a clue scheduled for an upcoming showing, and we would like to create an interactive experience within our community. Any advice or tips on how to get more businesses, community leaders involved, and get more traction so we can actually plan out the experience? Yeah, I got an answer for it. As you come up with yours, Cameron, mine goes right away.
deal.
Ask the businesses and community leaders how they can help. So I like the idea of we've got this event we want to do. We have an idea of what we would like as support, but you don't know if any of these businesses have any interest whatsoever. So here's how I would even approach this. I would say ask for a quick meeting. I don't want to ask you for a sponsorship. I actually want to get your perspective on how we can do this in the community. You're a business leader, you're a business influencer, you're a person of influence within the community. We're doing this event. I'd love your thoughts on how we make it the best possible and get them to talk about how they would help you rather than what they can do for you, right? So make it this like ping pong back and forth experience that you have that you can generate ideas on. that eventually will turn them, well, how else can I help? Well, we've got a sponsorship level here. But you want to get in the door by asking them how they would love to interact with this event, interact with this program, interact with you as an organization, because now they're vested in its success rather than you coming in going, please, sir, may I have some dollar amounts rather than that. Might be a pretty good idea. Cameron, anything from the online perspective, if you've got an interaction there that you want to sort of plan out the
So,
experience?
okay, so I'm gonna give one that's like an online and one that I did so that I can kind of give you a little bit of different
Yes.
perspective. So
Love it.
from an online perspective, it's how many people are you telling about your website? I
Mm,
think we have a website. This is just like I'm talking the simplest form.
right.
Making people go to your website for something. So I
Mm,
know you were saying Clue, right? So it's a theater. So in my opinion, it's like, are they going to your website to purchase the ticket? Because I
yeah.
know a lot of people send them to a third, like the link goes to a third party place before it goes to your website. Let them go to
Hmm.
your website to go to the third party because we
Yep.
want people to go to the website and we want them to know where they go from there. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, that's just like simple, right? Just like as simple gets. The second thing is I loved what you had to say, Patrick, but I'm going to take it even, I'm going simple again, where it's
Yes.
like just go into businesses and start. Just contact people and just start. I think going back to my analysis paralysis thing,
Hmm.
we think what's going to be the most effective way, like what's the best way possible. If you've never done a way or you've never actually tried to do things, it's simply going to do those things and trying to talk to people. Because once you
Yep.
start talking to people, once you start sending emails, like I'll give an example. I sent a few random emails for a concert, had the mayor show up. Had no idea he was going to show up. And I was like, hey, thank you so much for him showing
Yep.
up. And I
Hmm.
just asked a bunch of people and I said, hey, we're a youth organization inside the city and we do this and we'd love for you to come. I'm offering you free tickets. Would you like to come?
Hmm.
Boom. They came. They were like, oh, I love orchestra. I didn't even know this youth symphony was around.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
like, oh, and then from the marketing perspective, it's like there's cool things you can do with like the way you post flyers or the way it's interactive. So you said it's clues. So it's like, how can you make them come to the theater or get to your office through an interactive way, right? Like
Hmm.
creating a cool, like, they go to this park to get to this clue, to go to this clue, and then they show up to you and you're like, hey, anybody who shows up to this thing, we're offering free tickets. First five people who answer our scavenger hunt gets this. Like,
Yep.
again, endless possibilities. I think the
Hmm.
biggest thing that you stated, Patrick, and that I'm trying to tell you is we need to start from ground one and just
And
communicate
just go.
and get out there.
Yep. The other thing too is that you could have, like any Clue game, right, where you have to find whatever room the murder happened in. You could just have those businesses have the Clue card packages where they open it up in a little envelope, and whether they get half price tickets, 25% off, full price off, they have to go to the businesses to get the Clue card. Drive traffic to their businesses as well. Super easy
Yeah.
peasy lemon squeezy, and they'd probably love it too. They'd probably sponsor the show or get interaction within the community too. I love that question. I love those answers. I've loved this webinar because we've kept it simple. We've got a bunch of tangible things. I know people are going to eventually want to know how on earth they get a hold of you because they're probably going to have some more questions after this webinar is over, and they're going to want to know all the fun things. Cameron, how on earth do people get a hold of you to ask their pressing online questions?
Yeah, so you can get to me two simple ways. So our website is rebornconsultants.com. To get to me, it's info at reborn SEO, search engine optimization.com. So info at rebornseo.com and then rebornconsultants.com. That's how you can get to me. You can contact me there. I'm on LinkedIn. My name, Cameron with a K, Conley. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm posting right now. I'm in a series where I'm posting every single day for 100 days, and I'm on number today will be 15. So I'm just
Nice.
taking my advice and trying things, right? And just getting out in the
Love it.
community and getting the interaction. So those are the main ways you can contact me to help with your website, SEO, or paid ads, and helping you with your nonprofit.
Outstanding. Well, we're going to put all of that information in the links below or in the description of this and part of the replay. And we'll send out a link to everybody who is here on live. You'll have all that information here shortly. My name is Patrick Kirby. I'm the founder of Do Good Better Consulting. You can find me, well, I'm all over the pages that you're going to find this video anyway. So connect me if you have any seemingly unsolvable fundraising problems. I got you there as well. Cameron, thank you very much. I appreciate you for simplifying all of this for everybody. I love our answers that we were giving people throughout the entire webinar. You're brilliant. I love it. If you have any questions, get your rear end to Cameron because he's going to help you out. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll see ya. If you got any other comments, drop them in the comments there. We'll answer them as we go along. Thanks, gang. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Thanks.